Computational English by Lucian. Finite data will be a solution in Conglish forum for 31. I prepared to write how God invents pathways. I did this by writing an original argument about Lucianic meditation in my essay about the intersection of Heidegger and Taoism. First, I read the literature. Second, I thought of the universal implication of the literature. Third, I wrote how the structure of Lucianic meditation was similar to the structure of Taoism as pointed out by Heidegger. In this way, I prepared to write how God invents pathways by writing an original argument about Lucianic meditation in my essay about the intersection of Heidegger and Taoism. 32. I prepared to examine my works. I did this by verifying the grammar of each original reason in the essay with 10 reasons. First, I wrote the first reason. Second, I prepared to write the next reason. Third, I repeated this until I had written 10 reasons. In this way, I prepared to examine my works by verifying the grammar of each original reason in the essay with 10 reasons. 33. I prepared to observe effective communication in the market. I did this by writing Braysoning's currency. First, I selected the product. Second, I wrote how it would be useful to me. Third, I accepted the seller's Braysoning currency and the product in return for mine. In this way, I prepared to observe effective communication in the market by writing Braysoning's currency. 34. I prepared to list the finite data used as empirical evidence. I did this by verifying using Braysoning's currency. First, I wrote the plan for buying as the Braysoning's currency. Second, I verified the buy from the first, second and third person perspectives. Third, I verified the product's use. In this way, I prepared to list the finite data used as empirical evidence by verifying using Braysoning's currency. 35. I prepared to calculate the use by date of the product. I did this by stating that Braysoning's currency works. First, I calculate the time to prepare for buying the product. Second, I calculated the time to register to buy the product. Third, I calculate the time to use the product. In this way, I prepared to calculate the use by date of the product by stating that Braysoning's currency works. 36. I prepared to plan for the marriage in a finite way. I did this by stating that there was Braysoning's currency for gay marriage. First, I computed Braysoning's currency for meditation philosophy. Second, I computed Braysoning's currency for Apple meditation, confirming the marriage every day. Third, I computed Braysoning's currency for a possible intimate or companionship connection. In this way, I prepared to plan for the marriage in a finite way by stating that there was Braysoning's currency for gay marriage. 37. I prepared to assign a finite amount of the product for a certain amount of Braysoning's currency. I did this by assigning 1 to Braysoning's currency when a threshold reading was required. First, I assigned the threshold to a certain number of as. Second, I detected the threshold being reached. Third, I allowed product to be given for this threshold. In this way, I prepared to assign a finite amount of the product for a certain amount of Braysoning's currency by assigning 1 to Braysoning's currency when a threshold reading was required. 38. I prepared to value the wedding. I did this by stating that 50 as of Braysoning's currency would be charged in certain cases. First, I noted that 50 as of Braysoning currency were exchanged in marriage. Second, I observed that 50 as of Braysoning's currency were exchanged when an employee was employed. Third, I observed that 50 as of Braysoning's currency were exchanged when a product was developed. In this way, I prepared to value the wedding by stating that 50 as of Braysoning's currency would be charged in certain cases. 39. I prepared to state that a person's physiology limits her secrets. I did this by stating that 80 was the possible maximum number of brace innings recommended to brace an out per day, and 400 brace innings was the upper maximum. First, I found the required number of brace innings per day. Second, I determined that the rest of the brace innings would be completed for the person. Third, I placed any brace innings in the communal account. In this way, I prepared to state that a person's physiology limits her secrets by stating that 80 was the possible maximum number of brace innings recommended to brace an out per day, and 400 brace innings was the upper maximum. 40 I prepared to record the number of brace innings. I did this by stating that computers would complete the required number of brace innings. First, I counted the number of brace innings already completed. Second, I counted the number of brace innings required. Third, I subtracted the number of brace innings already completed from the number of brace innings required to equal the number of computational brace innings required, and provided these. In this way, I prepared to record the number of brace innings by stating that computers would complete the required number of brace innings. 41. I prepared to craft unique viewpoints. I did this by stating that people should plan ahead to have their own original content. First, I computed a finite set of ideas relating to the idea. Second, I computed the required ideas to relate these to. Third, I related them. In this way, I prepared to craft unique viewpoints by stating that people should plan ahead to have their own original content. 42. I prepared to compare and contrast natural trends in brace innings currency where the writers haven't read each other's work. I did this by computing the nature of the area of study. First, I wrote how the area of study was done in nature. Second, I wrote how the area of study was made in nature. Third, I wrote how the area of study was held in nature. In this way, I prepared to compare and contrast natural trends in brace innings currency where the writers haven't read each other's work by computing the nature of the area of study.